All right, man. We got something different coming to y'all today, man. This Big Capone, I'm in the house, but I got one of my niggas with me, man. It's been a minute. When I tell you this, my brother of the struggle, this what it is. My brother, man. You know what I mean? I'm going to introduce him as my nigga Strange. Assalamu alaikum.
Nigga, my son.
And, y'all know this. My first interview. We doing something different, like I said, and I'm gonna let this brother tell his story. But I've been knowing this brother for an awful long time, man. It's been like 20 years since I've seen the brother. Yeah, we can go that long in prison without seeing each other, man. But I'm gonna let this brother run it to y'all, man. It's my nigga Strange, bro. Here you go.
What's up, Prison Talk? Yeah, Mr. Big Homie, Young Strange, a.k.a. original name Jermaine Hicks. I remember I came to Texas in 1988, and I remember the first time I seen the color blue. It was a whole bunch of Crips down the street from where I stayed, and me and my older brother James Edward Hicks was just basically infatuated with how these guys was moving. And I understand that nowadays that my mindset now is that everything that we did back then as children, we was wrong, and you know we basically committed a lot of crimes back in those days as juveniles. At the age of 15 years old, I was certified as an adult, and I came to prison and for capital murder, law parties. But while I was sitting here in prison, I remember at 19 years old, while I was sitting on the terror unit after stabbing a dude, I'm glad that I didn't kill him, or I would have got more time. I remember that I had got a letter from one of my big homies who was on death row at the time, named Gabriel Gonzalez, and I wrote him back. And I remember when I was just anxious and waiting to hear from him, and it took about a month for him to write me back. But when I received his letter, you know, the first thing that he had told me is that he's a Muslim and that he wanted to change his life. And he also told me that I needed to work on a lot of things in my life. And the number one thing that I needed to work on was my education, because he had noticed at the time that I could barely spell. And a lot of people didn't even realize I couldn't even read and write at the time. But I remember sitting there and reading this letter, and he told me, he was like, man, little homie, get you 5 words and put those words on a wall and get you a dictionary and start studying and writing these words down and learning how to incorporate those words into your vocabulary. And I did that, and I stayed and said it for like 8 years. But what I didn't realize at the time of me doing that is that it had opened up a whole new world for me. A whole new world, meaning that I had stepped outside of my community, outside of the projects in which I lived in, into a whole new world. I stepped into history. I stepped into the 1700s. I stepped into the 1800s. I started seeing who I was as an individual. I started seeing who I was as a black man, and not as someone as a Crip or someone who was a gang member. I started seeing that, you know, the things that my ancestors had to go through in order to make their journey 9,000 miles from Africa and change to a land that they knew nothing of. I seen the brutality. I started seeing myself there. In my course of learning, teaching myself how to read and write, I was interested in this information. And I went further than that. I started studying psychology. I started studying world religion. And like I said in 06, and I continued my journey on education. Of course, got my GED, took a few college classes. But as I can stand here today, right now, I'm a life coach here on the unit. I basically write my own curriculum. And I remember going on a rec yard after reading a book called Blu-rays Black Redemption by Stanley Tookie Williams, one of the founders of the Crips. I remember reading this book, and it took me 28 days to read this book. And after I read this book, I went out to the rec yard, and I told a whole bunch of my homeboys at the time, I'm through. I had to step out of the gang life because I seen that I had to move forward towards something different. And I started developing more changes and developing more in my life. And so I go to the Cofield unit, and I got around some brothers in the faith-based dorm, and they started pouring into me. And they started letting me know that I had potential, things that I never even knew that I had. And I started learning from them brothers how to teach classes, how to incorporate classes. And 2018, I remember going to the McConnell unit, and the first class that I got involved as facilitating was Bridges to Life, which is the Restorative Justice Program. And I started facilitating that class with a guy named Brandon Brewer, who is the field minister now, and also back then. And he basically gave me the game of how to run classes, how to teach classes, and give me. He basically gave me a vision for my life. So here it is, 2025. During that time, I done already put a newsletter in 2019. I put a newsletter to state school, 2 issues about gang violence. I'm in 2 books now. And I done did so much positive things, and my journey has not even been complete yet. But I just want to say this. You know, a lot of us was young back then, and you know, being a kid, you know, our brains are not fully developed. And because of that, you know, we're easy to be influenced. So it's understandable for a lot of kids, you know, come from the culture in which I come from, to get caught up into gang violence, to get caught up in drug addiction, to get caught up in selling drugs, because a lot of our parents were doing the same basic thing. So we didn't see a world outside of what we was doing. But I'm going to tell y'all this, man. We need to start focusing on that. We need to start destroying this culture that we done built, this monster that we have built, that's constantly destroying us. And these are some of the steps that I'm taking to do that. Right now, I teach a class. I just left this class not even an hour ago. It's called Wisely Achieving Resilience. It's a program that I've started. And my future nonprofit is going to be called Young War, Wisely Achieving Resilience. And I'm basically right now teaching these guys about critical thinking. I'm teaching them how to motivate themselves. I'm teaching them that they have a vision, they have a purpose for their life, but they have to find it. And I got 14 guys that said, a place that I learned how to read and write. I went back to that same spot, and now I'm grabbing some of these youngsters and showing them that, look, man, it's a better way. And there's much more coming. There's much more coming for me. I got a capital life sentence. I got 9 more years to come up for parole. I see myself in the future getting this psychology degree, stepping out into society, going into the communities and teaching classes. And who would have known that Jermaine Hicks or Young Strange would have been an educator? Who would have known that? And I'm going to leave y'all with this, man. I've seen a lot of my big homies. It's the 2 things that happen that I done seen some of my big homies. Either they drug addicts, they hooked on this K2, they hooked on these drugs, or they revolutionizing themselves and they're becoming great. So I want to shout out to the podcast. I want to shout out to one of my big homies, my big bro, Yellow Capone, who got this, man, and hopefully this right here will reach our ears, man, and y'all take heed on what we doing. We real dudes. We from the streets. We live this life. This is real. Shout out to my boy Andre Norman out there. Hey, bro, if you hear this, we with you, and we got word, and we putting it down, man. Salam alaikum. Peace to the gods.
All right. My young brother, he just gave y'all what we got going. Now, because I know y'all done heard it from me, I want to bring my brother back to our Ad Said days, the better of the beat, and what we've been through. He's correcting the injustice that we've been through, the injustice that a lot of us are still going through. You know what I mean? And now I just want him to expound on the injustice of what we're going through in this.
Well, you know, what I tell a lot of people is this. No system in the world is perfect. And because no system in the world is perfect, a lot of the officers that work here, they're not perfect either. And they came here to work as kids, just like we came here to live inside this institution as kids. Since I came to prison in 1994, I got locked up in 94, came to prison in 96. I've seen a lot of development. I've seen a lot of things develop. I've seen a lot of things change. And right now we have in our hands a process that we can use to change the system, because we've always been the ones to change the system, whether it's been negative or positive. We gotta be the voice. We gotta be the ones to say, hey, look out, bro, what are you doing? Don't smoke. Don't, and you know, K2 is killing y'all. Why y'all on that? We gotta be the ones to be like, look, bro, Look at education. Give yourself a chance. You got 2 or 3 years. What are you doing? Why are you in the game? You want to go back out there in that world and be responsible to your family, man. Put your family first. Put your community second. Above all, if you believe in religion, I guess, God needs to be first in your life. Pave the way. But this system is changing, man. And we have an opportunity to help mold it to what we want it to be. And if we don't do that, then we allow these officers or we allow the administration to do it. Now, I will say this, there's guys here, man, that work for this system, that want this change, that want to see development. But we got to be able to get out of this mindset that it's us against them. That's over with. This us against them mentality is dead, man. If we come to prison, it's because we committed crimes. And we got to be responsible for that. It's our responsibility to change our life. Because can't nobody change our life for us. We can't blame nobody for our mistakes. We made mistakes. We got to live by them. But now it's the time for us, man, to get our life together and make something with it and do something with our life.
That's big facts. That's big facts. Now, y'all hear my brother speaking. And it's crazy because, like I said at first, I ain't seen this brother in about 20 years. And since I've been on this unit, I've seen him 3 times before I realized he was here. And when our other brothers were conversating, that's how my name came up. All right. I mentioned us being in the beach. We did city time together. Well, we faced some crazy stuff. We did some crazy stuff. You know what I mean? And that's how we formed this bond as brothers. Some things has happened to him, some things has happened to me. And now it's a positive change of what y'all hear today. Like I said, I met him at Strand. And now I can honestly say he came into Mr. Heat. You know what I mean? This is a real brother. And because bro got a busy schedule, so we can't just back and forth like I want to. You know what I mean? Because I know he do got a busy schedule. But understand this, we got a movement going on. You know what I mean? This podcast, Prison Talk, hashtag Harsh Truth. We gonna give y'all some harsh truth. You know what I mean? We also got Big Islam coming. You know what I mean? So I just want y'all to be ready. And if y'all got any questions for me or him or these other brothers, because I plan on interviewing some other brothers and y'all to understand what's really going on in this belly. Because this ain't no, what I want to call it, it's not one of the TikTok things y'all see where people cooking. You hear me? This is real life. Real life. You know what I mean? This is real life right now. We sitting in a day room. We sitting in a day room with 20 other people playing dominoes and running around like chickens with their head cut off because they searching for their necktie. This is the city we in. You know what I mean? And here go my brother once again.
Yeah, I just also want to give a shout out to a person that helped develop my life, man. And there's nothing I can do. There's nothing I could say that, I mean, this woman has, this woman has, this woman has done so much for me, man. Her name is Leah Mesler, Patricia Mesler. She go by Leah. That's my baby. I love her. She's been walking with me since 2016. She has not stopped. Even though y'all know how it is, we argue with our females, with our women, they're supporting us because there's things that's going on in our life, man. But let me tell you, man, if it was not for her, there wouldn't be this. There wouldn't be a Jermaine Hicks. This change wouldn't have happened because our women, man, or a lot of these guys don't realize it's really the backbone of what we do, man. And I couldn't do nothing without her. She was able to strengthen me when I was weak. She gave me encouragement. She pointed out my potential. She helped me move forward. And when she came into my life, she revolutionized everything, man. And there's nothing like I said, nothing could happen without her. None of this would be possible. So I now realize through her the power of the woman, the power of the female, and my place with her. So I just want y'all to know, man, if you have anybody on your team, man, a woman or or even, a big bro, or anybody, your mom on your team, respect them, man. Give them your time. Make them a priority, man. Because sometimes we'll slip into that state of mind to where we don't make them a priority because we get caught up in this world of prison. Because, we got to survive here. But, hey, man, we have to acknowledge our women. We have to acknowledge the people that's walking with us. And I give a shout-out to them, man. Give a shout-out to all the second lookers out there. Y'all keep y'all head up. This war is not over. We done lost some battles, but the war is not over, man. We're going to make it up out of here, even if we got to go walk through the door. Well, we got to do 40 years flat. Still, keep your head up. Understand one thing. When we get to that finish line and we walk up out of here, we got a greater challenge. Because there's people that don't want to see us in them streets. Because they know we real. They know we going to go out here and take care of the business. We going to go out here and take care of the business, man. So I'm going to shout out to my boy Sherrod Williams. You know what I'm saying? My boy Elvin DeBro. Shout out to Gable Gonzalez. Shout out to Self, Mr. 187, Shawnee Simmons. I love y'all, man. Y'all my big bros. Like I said, man, Second Look Texas. We in the building. Jermaine Hicks. Y'all get at us. Young War. It's a movement, man.
Yes, but for y'all that don't know what the brother's talking about, y'all check out the Second Chance that's being passed, man. It's called Second Look Texas, man. You know what I mean? It's trying to get us brothers that's been in this penitentiary all these years come down here as kids. Half of us 15, 16, 17 years old. We've been down here 30 plus years. You know what I mean? And it all starts with y'all, man. Everybody talk about prison, the change, how prison needs to change. But y'all that's listening, it starts with y'all, man. You know what I mean? If y'all got somebody in here that y'all love, understand that anything can happen. And if you're not helping them, who gonna help them? We can help each other only so much up in here. You know what I mean? And like my boy said, man, shout out to all the strong women in our life, man. You know what I mean? Because without them, it would still be stuck in our animalistic ways, bro. You know what I mean? Kill, be killed. And it's real up in here. You know what I mean? Even with the laws, bro, we fighting them. You know what I mean? Because we got some that's here only because they got bullied when they was young. So they come now, and this is what's going on, man. So shout out to all the people that's listening, bro. Y'all keep y'all heads. Like I said, if y'all got any questions, man, holler. If it's for my brother, man, I'll relay it to him, and he gonna answer y'all questions himself. You know what I'm saying? Prison talk. We love y'all. All right, mama.